Exodus 22, 2 through 3. Bible's really clear. Somebody comes into your house and you hit them with a rock and it kills them, you're not guilty of anything. That's what it says. In Matthew 5, we've got a verse that a lot of people use. I think the Amish would be inclined to use this, maybe Quakers, maybe Mennonites, that we're supposed to turn the other cheek. Many people have concluded that that actually means you cannot defend yourself. You need to let somebody do to you whatever they're going to do because of that verse. Peter, just trying to defend Jesus, cuts off the ear of the servant of the high priest, and he's told to, hey, knock it off with the sword business. And some people would conclude you shouldn't ever use a sword. I don't think so. Husbands are to protect their wives. Now, it doesn't say with weapons, but we're the stronger ones. We're the ones who are supposed to make sure that our wife and kids live in peace. God does not automatically say that guns are sinful in and of themselves. Furthermore, there's no commandment to not defend yourself or use weapons. I know that's an argument from silence, hence the indirect column. The sixth commandment, thou shalt not murder. But we also need to remember that if somebody does murder, what happens to them? They get killed. There's a big difference between murder and killing. Murder is the knockout game and you kill somebody. Killing somebody is putting them on trial, discovering they're guilty, and then sentencing them to death because they murdered. Killing, murder, different. When you're a soldier, you kill, you don't murder if the war is just. We've also got our Romans 13:1 that we should obey the government. Two thoughts about that. It's the government's job to protect from the bad guys in general, but furthermore, we want to obey the laws of the government. And so if the government says you can't have guns or you can't have them here or there, I've got to ask myself the question, is having a gun a biblical right? Because if I can't conclude that the Bible says to not own a gun is a sin, then I've got to obey the government. Did you catch that? The Bible is really clear. If the government tells you don't preach the gospel, you can disobey the government. If the government tells you to sin, you can disobey the government. But if the government has a law that you just don't like or that it's not a favorite thing, if the Bible doesn't say that it's a sin, then I think that we need to submit to the government. So there you have, without your presuppositions, direct and indirect, but we've got a few steps to go to determine guns, self-defense, and the Christian next.